Everyone, my name is Vikky, and today I'll be watching Attack on Titan Season 1, Episode 25. And also, I will be watching this episode till the end, because apparently there's a end credits scene. I don't know how to say exactly, but at the end there's a scene apparently, and you want to see my reaction to it. So, there were two persons who pointed that out. I hope I remembered your two names correctly. It was Cat X Coffee, I think that's your name, and My Life is a Mess. I think you two pointed that out. And while I'm here, the user My Life is a Mess wrote everything that I should know regarding to endings, openings, and everything. So really thank to you. I will probably post a link in the description, so if you click that link you can see which openings will I watch and all that stuff, because apparently there are some openings which I'm not allowed to watch because I would get spoiled. That's just something. Regarding this episode, as I said, I really expect the battle to continue. Eren versus Annie, everyone else against Annie. If you watch my previous video, you probably have seen that I expect Jean to die. But as I said, I don't know what could happen. I thought maybe the other spy could appear, or maybe imagine the Colossal and Armored Titan will appear, and those three will kill everyone, destroy the village, and then maybe the whole three walls will fall. Anything could happen. So I can't wait to see what's this episode about. I just stop talking. I'll start watching. Enjoy this video, and yeah, that's that. The wall. Interesting. Oh, that was the church. Ah, yeah. Their battle will kill many. Ah. So he has control. Yeah, that's the biggest question. Come on. Okay, that's a good start. Yeah, that must be weird to them, if you think about it. I mean...
何も捨てることができない人には何も変えることはできない。化け物をしのぐために必要なら人間性さえ捨てる。
Okay. Oh. Interesting. Oh she's angry. What the hell? What? What the hell? Oh, she's dead. Oh. Nice. That was great. What the hell? Oof. Okay. What the hell is that? My mind is just going all places now. So many things happened, man.
作戦成功とは言えねえ。いや、我々調査兵団の首はつながった。おそらく首の皮一枚だ。目標の目星がついていたのなら、なぜ憲兵団の協力を依頼しなかったか。区長、それは女型の仲間が潜んでいる可能性があるからでしょう。潔白を証明できるもののみで行う必要があったからです。奴をこのままにしていれば壁は破壊され、被害はこれだけでは済まなくなるはずです。なるほど。今の兄レオンハートから何か聞き出せるとは思えんが。はい、不可能じゃ。つまり無駄骨なのか。
体は大丈夫。
気持ち悪いくらいのものだ。大掛かりな作戦やって収穫なしかい。
あそこまでして情報を守ったの。
ああ、まんまと逃げられた。
逃がしたのはエレン。あの一瞬がなければ。
アルミンの言う通りだ。俺はやりそうだった。兄は動けなくなっちまった。
But he would kill her, so.
事情聴取だ。
はい。
俺たちからか。
じゃあまた後で。
Oh.
気持ちいいと思った。なんならこのまま死んでもいいってくらい。
エレン。
今は思ってねえよ。俺には理解できねえな。化け物をしのぐためなら人間性さえする。そうでなきゃ勝てねえか。
人類が巨人に勝つための可能性の一つだ。
そんな化け物になって巨人を駆逐したとして、それは人類の勝利なのか。
This was in the first episode.
私は人類が大きな可能性をつかんだと考えます。そう、奴らは必ずいるのです。一人残らず追い詰めましょう。壁の中にいる巨人を全て。今度は我々が進撃する番です。
召喚が凍結され、地下深くに収容されたアニレオンハートの管理は人類も自分たちが何に囚われているのかを知るにはまだ時間と犠牲が必要だった。
The key. Okay, let's see the final scene. Okay. Oh no. Colossal Titan or something? What? Okay, are you kidding me? This show really wants me to make this video 3 hours long because there's so many things, like millions of stuff, little details, from Annie's father to Eren being a burning titan. And now this? Like, what was this? Was this a Titan? But it wasn't the armored, and it wasn't the colossal. And it seemed like it is in the wall. It wasn't... And sorry if I'm not talking as loudly as usually. It's because it's like now, it's really, really late. Anyways, it seems as it was inside the wall, but it could be that it wasn't, and it's so big. Is it climb big? What is it? Like, I see two possibilities. This is an entirely new creature, or this is another Titan user. If it is a Titan, it's probably another human Titan user. And if it is another human Titan user, then what the hell? How many of them are they? I only thought, like, there's the female Titan, the colossal Titan, the armored Titan. And as I expected, the female Titan was first to die. And I thought in the second season, the armored Titan will die, and in the last, colossal. I mean, Annie did not die, but they got rid of the female Titan. I just realized that I love this show, because, as you always saying, that it has so many details and everything, and it really has. And as I said, there's so much to talk about today. This was an epic episode, definitely. But again, this post-credit scene, I don't know what to exactly make of it, because it was such a tiny bit that it could be millions of things, as I said, but it's probably something, as I said, maybe an entirely new creature, like a wall titan, or I don't even know how big it is. The face seemed small, but you cannot know because the camera was so close. And if it's another human Titan user, then what the hell, how many are they around? And why are they hiding? Like, this is my biggest question. Why aren't the colossal Titan, armored Titan, the female Titan, I mean, there were already 3, why didn't they all go and do whatever they wanted to do? Like, there has to be, their goal seems to be time connected, or I guess, or I don't know. Like, then through this episode, Eren has another level, or was this just his fighting spirit? I don't know, because so is this like Annie seems to really have? I said it in one episode that does this mean that they can have sort of elemental powers, like not specifically elemental, like I don't know if now someone can have earth or wind or electricity, but maybe connected to their body, because we know the Titans are made of water, like steam comes out of them, so maybe that's why Annie can have ice, and maybe Eren can have fire, because we also know that they're hot, just because of steam, you know, it's hot water, so, but maybe his personality is the key, that he can unlock this fire power, and Annie's personality is the key to unlock her powers. And there are so many little scenes with Annie's father, and I don't know where to begin. I'll start by talking about Annie's father. He is important. He is extremely important. He has to be. He said that he was wrong. He was wrong, and he said, I don't want to apologize to you now. And he said, even if the whole world will hate you, do me a favor. It is him. It is him actually influencing her actions. And he was panicking, and she was in shock. And so this confirms that she really loved him, because she was crying, and she's doing this for him. And this confirms that there is a lot to him. He's not just a flashback character. I don't know how old was Annie in that scene. I'm curious if he regrets the fact that maybe he used her to kill people, because I don't know at what age she started to do this, but she at least was 10 when she started to do this, because we all know that she was in the first battle present, at least that's what Armin said. So maybe this was his regrets, or maybe he regretted betraying humanity or whatever. He's regretting something. I don't know. There's endless possibilities, but we do know that she loves him, definitely, and we do know that he is involved in this. He definitely knows her being a Titan, and she probably is doing this because of him, because why would she remember this now? Right? So her doing this is because of him, probably. Except if he actually said to her, do me this favor, don't ever tell them where I am, and that's why her final wish came true and she froze. This was actually a pretty clever thing. I was pretty sure that she would die, that Eren would kill her, because I didn't think that they would let us, our characters, capture her, because I didn't think that the show would let us know all the information. I was pretty sure she would die. So I don't know, what does this mean? Does this mean that she will one day return? Or this will be interesting to see, definitely. I'm also curious if they will find a way to break that ice. Maybe Eren can, if he transforms into a Titan. This will be really interesting. And then, of course, Eren's transformation. It seems like when he can go into a beast state, or fire beast state, whatever you call it, and then just loses control, but he will do his goal, I guess. He wanted to kill all the Titans, and there was a Titan, he killed it. I'm really interested in if this is something that he will now learn to master, learn how to trigger. Will he ever need it again? I don't know, because you have to think about it. Who is his now biggest threat? Except, I don't know what that creature in the wall was, but if we look at the Colossal and Armored Titan, is it crazy to think that I think that the Armored Titan is the bigger threat? Because I think that Eren struggled against Annie not because of her power, but because of her control, because she was able to use her hand-to-hand combat technique. Whereas the Colossal Titan, if you remember, it was in the 5th episode? I think it was the 5th, where Eren, he almost killed him. He had to escape the Colossal Titan, if you remember, and Eren wasn't even a Titan. He was a human. So I think, is the Colossal Titan even good in a battle? Because he's so slow, his power probably also, is he powerful? He can destroy the gate, but the Armored Titan was able to destroy the wall. So I think the only thing that the Colossal Titan has is his height. But the Armored Titan seems the strongest. He seems fast, so great control also probably. So I think that Eren would only need this power against the Armored Titan, but I think that they can defeat the Colossal Titan even easier than the female. But I still think that the Colossal Titan is the final boss because of the whole symbolism. That's what I think, because he was the first to appear and he's the biggest one. But that's just my view. But I think that the Armored Titan will be hard to defeat, and it will probably take, again, Eren will have to use this power. And what can you do with this power? I'm super curious, because Annie was able to freeze herself into ice. Is this maybe something you can also do as a human? Can maybe Eren make his own human body burn? That's also an interesting point. One thing that was extremely also interesting in this episode was, maybe it doesn't seem so, but at the end, when we were shown Reiner, Krista, and everyone else, where were they? What were they doing? That's interesting to me, because they didn't have their uniforms and they were riding horses, and the last time we seen them was after their mission failed. So what were they doing? Maybe this is not important, but maybe this is something. I mean, what could they have been doing? I don't know. That's something that was interesting to me. There were a lot of things, and I'll definitely talk about them in the episode breakdown. So I'm back, and now I'll go through the episode. We started off with a scene where we have seen a religious ceremony being held inside this Attack on Titan world version of a church, I guess. It seems like there was a priest inside and some people who are, I guess, just religious people and had their group prayer, I guess. And what is interesting there was that it seems like it is, I guess, now confirmed that they believe in 3 goddesses, which is each wall. And what is also interesting is that they all wear that necklace piece, although it seems like only one of them was a priest. I guess this is what you have to wear if you go inside that church. And I love it. It's like a nice little detail, you know. I always love world building. And then that building was destroyed. This was actually the building which was destroyed actually at the end of the previous episode. And at that point I wasn't actually thinking about the fact that their fighting will have so many consequences. And this episode did a perfect job by showing us that basically there are consequences with their battle. You know, that basically actually Eren is also in some ways at fault for the deaths of these people. We have a lot of shows where your main heroes have a big battle inside a city and it seems like no one really has any consequences, no one dies. It seems like after the battle everything is fine, everything is repaired. As I said it a lot of times during this season, this show does a great job by showing us that this story is not just our main characters. Their choices have consequences on each individual, on normal people who live inside these villages can feel these consequences. I think at this point we were shown the dialogue between Erwin and Niall. Someone reported to Niall what was actually happening and Niall immediately blamed Erwin for it, and Erwin accepted the blame, admitted that it's actually that these are the consequences of his plan, and Niall wanted to kill him at that place, and Erwin did. Erwin is quite good with, it was stated a lot of times in this show that he's extremely clever, and he definitely is. He really has a good ability to deal with people. He always comes up with a clever reason, and he doesn't seem to lose his temper, you know. Sometimes people who know what has to be done, like Eren, they're usually those people who quickly lose their temper, who start to shouting, who start to screaming, who, if someone doesn't understand them. But Eren is not that kind of a person. He seems to understand humans perfectly, which is interesting. He seems to really know, I guess, how to manipulate them, in a sense, but not like in a negative way. But he did extremely well with Niall. Like, when he said to him, okay, kill me, but then please take over from me. This guy is responsible for the supplies. And, he started to say to him what he has to do. And that shocked a bit Niall in a way. And Niall then decided that those who are in higher command will decide about Erwin's fate. And also maybe Niall didn't want to kill him because he's not that kind of a person, or maybe he has little respect for Erwin. Maybe because he obeys the rules. There are multiple reasons as to why specifically he decided to not shoot Erwin. But it seems like that they maybe have a past, like at least in the way that I understood it when they were talking. It seems like they know each other for quite some time. Of course, I know they're both commanders, but at the same time, if I remember correctly, when Pixies and Erwin were talking, it seemed much more respectful. Like here, it seemed more as they know each other from before. Maybe they have a past, Erwin and Niall. Then I think Annie was running away from Eren. Then I think she was going to a place where it was like they said level ground, so that all those soldiers were not able to bother her anymore. When they arrived to that place, they had a battle, and at that time we were first shown her flashbacks, and his flashbacks of her father. he said something like, know that dad will be always on your side. I don't know if he was crying, his face was not shown, but it seemed like a sad moment, like he was departing, he was going somewhere. And Annie actually defeated Eren. He was on the ground, she was beating him in the head, and then ran away, which is interesting. Maybe with that scene they wanted us to show that she doesn't want to kill him. I don't know what exactly to make of it, because it could mean that she actually spared his life and ran away. It could mean that she was just panicking and running away, but it also could mean that she doesn't want to kill him because she needs him, but she realized that she didn't have enough time to do this and just ran away, I guess. And then we had this big scene where Eren said, I think he said exterminate. I think he's saying exterminate, basically I guess kill all the titans. His body became black and was burning, and he became a beast version of himself, of his titan form, I guess. And Annie seemed to be like powerless. He overpowered her quite easily. Then she somehow escaped and tried to climb the wall. Then Mikasa came in, didn't allow Annie to escape, cut her fingers. Annie's face, or I guess the female titan's face, was disturbing. She really felt, she was fearing, she looked stressed, you know. It was really like she probably, it must have been hard for her, because I don't know, you know, like, of course you could say that Annie's, like the way Annie behaved, like when she was so, as Eren said, disinterested, so cool, calm. Maybe this was just her shield. Maybe she was just pretending to be that kind of a person. But it always seemed as Annie is a person who never felt fear for herself, if you understand me. Like I think she always had the feeling that she will succeed. She was good in, like on all levels, she was good in hand-to-hand combat. She could beat Reiner, and Reiner is like a huge guy, you know. She's a good user of the maneuvering gear, and she's a good Titan user. So I guess it was a quite shocking for her to be in a position where she was trying to escape and felt that she might lose. Although yeah, in the forest it was a similar position, but here it was even worse for her because she was aware that Eren is in a beast mode, so she cannot fight him, and she was aware that there are no titans around, so she wasn't able to call any titans to help her. And it was an awesome moment when Mikasa said to her, Annie, fall. Mikasa really loved that moment. I did also. Annie fell down. Eren started to attack her, and they all realized that he will probably kill her. At that point, what was really interesting to me is the fact that he didn't kill her immediately, because it was stated that it seems like he isn't able to fully control himself, and it seems like he wanted to kill her. His Titan form, or how should I say, wanted to kill Annie. So I'm curious, why did he bit off the skin first? Why didn't he just bit Annie with it? Why didn't he punch in? Why didn't he tore apart the body and also Annie with that? I'm curious, why did he have to first bit off that skin? Why didn't he just immediately go for the kill? Because it was similar to what Annie did in the forest to him, but when she did it, her intention was to take Eren. But here, Eren's intentions were to kill her, so I don't know why he did this. I don't know why he didn't just go for the kill. Why was he bothering with biting off her skin? Maybe his Titan is acting on instincts? I don't know. And that's why he did it? That's just something I'm curious to know. And yeah, at that point, Eren stopped when he has seen her crying, and she had flashbacks to her father, and this was an extremely interesting part. That scene, her father said a lot of things, which, especially if he is potentially the main villain, the main antagonist, then, you know, those things he said could be some big hints for our storyline. So if we look at the first flashbacks and now these flashbacks, the most important things he said were that he said that he was wrong, that even if the world turns against Annie, she should still know that her father is by her side, and that I think he said that, which I initially missed. I've seen that now as I rewatched it. He said that she should return to him, and of course he also said that he has just one favor to ask. So yeah, those are kind of the biggest things. Can I make any big conclusions out of this? Probably not, because I mean, maybe you could say that maybe he regrets the fact that he is doing this, that he's using his daughter to kill other people, or maybe he's regretting the fact that he is killing people, especially if, you know, if he's the Colossal Titan or the Armored Titan, then that's probably it. But then again, probably the favor which he asked her to do is what she's doing now. Probably he said to her something like, "Protect me, don't let them get to Wall Maria, to the basement," and she has to kill humans for that. So is he regretting killing humans if then he asked her to kill more humans? I don't know. I don't think so. So I mean, it could be either. It could go either way. It could be anything that he's regretting. I think the only thing that these things which he said give to us, like, the only conclusion that maybe I can for sure make is the fact that he probably is involved in this. Like I'm 99% sure that he has something to do with Annie's powers and her actions. So that's the biggest conclusion we can make of these flashbacks. But I think everything else is open. There's nothing concrete that I could say right here. The most interesting part, I guess, is the fact that he wants her to return. So here's the question: where is he? Maybe the only thing that is interesting here is that I'm asking myself if this was the last time they have seen each other. Maybe, because why would she think about that, right? That scene. So if that was the last time they have seen each other, then my theory about him being the Colossal Titan or Armored Titan maybe is not so true. Because if he is the Colossal Titan or Armored, then he probably would have met her again. Because the Colossal, Armored, and the female Titan had to communicate when to attack a certain village, because they waited for the Sorry Corps to leave, so they had to communicate and know when to strike. So if that flashback scene was the last time they met, then her father is not the Colossal Titan or the Armored. Then I got that wrong. So yeah, so I guess that theory is not so relevant anymore, that he is the Colossal Armored Titan. Maybe he is, I don't know, but I'm not so sure anymore. But I definitely think that he is involved in this. At least he gave Annie these powers, I suspect. He's the one who injected the same thing which Eren got injected into himself. That's what I think. Then Eren started to attack her, and it seemed like he doesn't have control of himself. He wanted to kill her, it seemed. I talked about this in the post-reaction thoughts, that he has torn off the skin first, which I still don't get quite why. Then he stopped as he has seen her cry. You know, at that moment, before that happened, like, those were my two possibilities which I was expecting at the time when I was watching. I was pretty sure that she will probably die, because I had a feeling that they will not allow us to gain all of that information. Like, she probably knows everything, I'm suspecting she knows everything that our characters want to know. So I expected that she will die. I expected that Eren will kill her, and that will, and then maybe that will be his burden, something that will mark him forever. The fact that he had to kill his own friend. Or I expected him to stop, which happened. So I wasn't that surprised that she cried. And it seems like it really touched Eren, because even though he was in this beast state, it was able to stop him. Her crying affected him so much that he stopped fighting. So, and also it seemed, and she probably cried because of her father, because she remembered him, maybe when he said, "Please return to me," and she sort of realized that she will probably die and never see him again. And she probably, as I said, she really has to love him. Even Eren, when at the beginning of their battle, he said that she always seemed to really care about her fighting technique, that she took her fighting style serious, and she probably was trained by her father. And this indicates that this means a lot to her, because it was something that her father taught her. So she really loves him and cares about him, and I guess, and that's why she's doing all this, because of the love she feels towards him. It seems like maybe she's not doing this because of a reason, a political reason or ideology, but she's doing this because for the sheer love of her father, it seems. I don't know if he did anything to her that makes her love him so much. Of course, he's her father. Maybe her mother died at a young age, and that's why she's even more connected to her father. Like, maybe there's even a greater reason as to why she loves him so much. Of course, it's reasonable that children love their parents. That's nothing shocking, but to love someone so much, to go and kill so many people, you really have to love that person more than anything, Like, especially if she actually not agrees with him, especially if she actually does not want to do this, and she's still doing this just because of him, then she's doing this just because of pure love. And then she froze, basically, with her power, which was a clever way to basically not kill her, but to just take, so that there's still the potential of her returning, but just the fact that she now is taken out of the story, so that we don't have the access to her information, so that they cannot interrogate her, so that they still have to do a lot before they gain any valuable information. Levi came in and took Eren out. So I guess, considering that he did this, he will still probably fight. So I thought that he might not fight anymore, but it seems like maybe he will still have problems, but it seems like he will still be able to. And basically the battle ended. One thing maybe that was interesting to me is, I'm asking myself if Eren knows anything more than everyone else. Maybe he's just so focused, but when everything was happening, when she froze, and when they were sort of fusing, and I forgot to talk about this, I'll do it now, but he never seemed to be too shocked. I don't know if he even was shocked, so I'm curious if he knows something more about Titans than we think he knows. Or maybe he's just so focused that you cannot shock him. But it was interesting that, everyone was shocked about, they're fusing, and he had just a regular focused face. So that's something that I noticed. And also, this was interesting. I don't know what this could mean, that they started to fuse. This could be something significant, or this could be just a side effect of Annie's powers. I really can't make anything of that scene, because sort of Eren's hand started to melt. I really don't know. This could... I don't know what this could mean. Maybe this will never happen again, and this is just a side effect of Maybe because Eren was burning and she seemed to have ice. I still don't know if this is exactly ice. It looks like ice, but he definitely was burning, so if she has ice and he fire, then maybe that's why they started to melt. You know, their powers were both activated. I don't know. It could be anything. I mean, yeah, you could say that her powers are not ice, because if it were ice, then she would melt by now. Maybe it's just a crystal power. I don't know. It could be a special sort of ice. It looks like ice. That's why I'm calling it ice. And it would make sense if he has fire, that maybe the contrast to that is ice. But you never know, right? The whole thing was over. They weren't able to get Annie out. Erwin had to convince the district chief, I think, which is interesting. So it seems like those are basically mayors of a district, these villages. He had to explain to them why basically his actions were justified. And he basically said that if they were to let the female titan escape, then the damage would be even bigger. And yeah, he's right. Like, of course, I understand those, I guess, leading people of this village, that of course they're angry because of all the damage. But if you look from the bigger picture, they removed the female titan, so it means that she will not damage any other village anymore. At the same time, we were shown how Eren woke up and he was in the same room as Jean, Armin, Mikasa, and himself, of course. And they were talking a bit about, like, Annie, and Armin said that it's actually Eren's fault. And Eren said, yeah, admit it, because he stopped. He said that he stopped when he has seen her crying. And I don't know why would his fault be for her powers to activate. Maybe you could, because if he wouldn't stop, she would be dead. She's still alive because he stopped, if he would continue, then he would kill her. So I don't know why he blamed him. But I mean, even Eren himself admitted that he's at fault, so maybe I'm not understanding something here, but it was clearly evident that he was trying to kill her. There are no, there are no guarantees as to if he would continue, that she wouldn't transform into this crystal. We don't know nothing about her powers, so I don't think we can make any conclusions about who's at fault that she transformed. But anyways, then they had to go. They had to go because they need to answer some questions. Jean and Armin. Jean seemed to be a bit jealous, and I like that part because it's still shown how, I don't remember the last time it was shown that he had feelings for her. This confirms that he still has. And then Eren and Mikasa talked, and Eren said something interesting, that it felt so refreshing to him when his skin was torn off, that he thought that he could die right there, that he wanted to die. I guess he was referring to the fact when he gets out of the Titan. I'm not quite sure, I'm a bit confused here, but I think that's that. When Levi got him out, that was so refreshing to him, I guess. And then he said that he's not thinking anymore like that. Maybe the fact that he talked about that he felt like he could die, maybe this is basically indicates the fact that when he's a Titan, he basically is not himself. Like, he can lose himself. He can lose control and become a new person, I suppose. Because also then Jean said, does by killing Titans, exterminating Titans, does that mean that you also have to become a monster? Maybe that's what Eren, what this show wanted to tell us when Eren said that he felt like he could die. That when he is in his Titan form, he's getting so many feelings, he's probably getting exhausted, and everything gets to the conclusion that he maybe loses himself. You know, he's not his true self anymore when he's a Titan. And he'll need to work on that and gain control. But anyways, yeah, that was a great moment between Mikasa and Eren. And I'm wondering if Mikasa has some feelings for Eren. Like, I never thought that she loves him in a sense like that, you know, that he would attract her. I always thought that they really felt like that she really felt that brother-sister love towards him. But I don't know. Maybe she has some feelings for him. Sometimes it seems like I still think that I don't know how this will end, but I still think that I have a feeling that maybe someday Jean and Mikasa will end up being together. Because I don't know. I think that Mikasa just loves Eren so much because you know, when she lost her family, he basically probably then meant everything to her. He showed her love and affection when they were young, so I guess that's that. But maybe she really does feel some true love, you know, towards him, not just as a brother. Maybe she just doesn't view him just as a brother, maybe something more. You never know. And as I said, Armin and Jean were walking outside. Armin again said that if you want to be victorious, you have to be able to throw everything away. And then Jean said, is it worth it if then you basically become a monster yourself? So this is interesting. This is definitely interesting. I thought about this a lot, about Armin's philosophy. I could say that this is, Armin said it the most now. And I think this is an idea he's holding on to. And I definitely see where he's coming from. You know, that's basically how you succeed in life, you know. You really have to sacrifice a lot. You have to do a lot to achieve something. That's definitely true. But as Jean said, is it worth it? You always have to weigh in everything, you know. For example, maybe you're trying to be an athlete. Maybe you want to be a, I don't know, basketball player. And, you know, and you start to train every day. And then you want to become the best, so you start to train even more than everyone else, to an extent where you start to feel pain, but you still continue to train because you want to be the best. But what can then happen? Maybe you will have an injury and you'll never be able to run anymore. You know, and then you can say, was it worth it? You know, and that's basically it. I think at the end of the day, although you have to sacrifice a lot, especially here, if it's for the survival of humanity, you still have to look at all the sides and see, is this worth it? You know, victory can sometimes be just a moment, you know. If you want to really win, you have to look into the future. Does this victory bring me make this a better place, bring me anything positive for the rest of my life? Or is this victory just a moment which will release a positive feeling in my head because I was victorious, but then I'll soon realize that basically it wasn't worth it. So can I even say that I was victorious? You know, that's just something that I don't fully agree with Armin on his philosophy. I think I agree more here with John that you still have to think, is it worth it? Is it worth it to throw everything away and then for a victory, you know? Because then if you lose everything, is it still a victory? You probably understand what I'm trying to say, you know. And then we had, you know, everything ended with Erwin talking to those people, and at the same time we were shown how Eren is eating, and I guess this really indicates somewhat this whole journey, I guess. You know, this whole season he went through a lot, and now it seems like he can finally be there. He's hungry, he can eat, he can rest, he can gain his powers back. And at the same time, Erwin was there when they asked him if this was for nothing, and he said that this was not for nothing, he basically highlighted the fact that the whole society came a long way, because they were so against Eren. Now they somewhat accepted Eren. Maybe not the whole society, but at least some of the leading people, it seems. And he's right. Basically, they came a long way from panicking and trying to kill Eren to the fact that now they're using him as their ally. And then it all ended with Eren and the camera showed the key. We still had the post-credits scene, of which I talked a lot about in the introduction, my post-reaction thoughts. The only thing which I noticed now when I rewatched it was basically at the place where Annie was climbing. So it is in Walshina as I thought, but I haven't noticed that it was at the place where Annie was climbing. So could that mean that she basically awoke that beast? If he was awakened because she destroyed a part of the wall, that then probably means that this is not another Titan user, another person. That probably means that this is a new creature, probably like a guardian of the wall, maybe? Because first of all, he was inside the wall. So he probably was there from the beginning. And I never asked myself, I don't think I did, at least in these videos, how were these walls built? They're so big and so were they human made? I don't know. I really don't know. Probably really not. Probably not. And were there maybe some creatures like this one which helped the humans? Then as they finished those walls, they went inside. Maybe just Walshina. Maybe they're also in Walrosa. And they're inside the walls in case someday someone will break the wall. Maybe that scene basically didn't mean anything bad. Maybe that creature inside was not a bad thing. Maybe that will actually help the humanity, because that creature will attack the Titans, maybe. You never know. Although it seemed evil when you look at that face, but you cannot tell by only that, As I said, maybe this is a guardian in the wall, and he was awakened because she did destroy a few parts of the wall. You know what? Basically proved that this could be right. The fact that maybe another guardian or this creature is inside Walrosa. That's why the Armored Titan never destroyed Walrosa. Why? Because he knew that if he will, then he will awake the guardian. I always ask myself, why didn't the Colossal Titan and Armored Titan do this often? And maybe that's why. Because maybe Walmaria didn't have any type of guardians, these creatures inside. But maybe Walrosa and Sheena have. And now when Annie tried to escape, she has awoken one of them. So, but still, if this is a sort of guardian, maybe that is positive or negative. Maybe when he's released, he starts to attack everyone. Maybe it's a positive thing. Maybe he will help them kill the Titans. Although, I don't know if this show would make this. They always seem, Attack on Titan really likes to make things tough. So now, I really don't know. We'll just have to see, I guess. So my apologies if you're bothered by the fact that the lighting and my appearance are constantly changing. It's just because I'm a bit low on time, and as you can see, this video is pretty long. So I just filmed whenever I had time. But anyways, that was for the episode breakdown. Now, we don't have an upcoming episode now in this season left. This was the last episode, of course. So I will, instead of making predictions for the upcoming episode, I will make a overview of this whole season and some predictions for the upcoming season. But before I do that, I will grade the episode and talk about the information cards which were shown in this episode. So they were a bit different than those which we have seen before. They had a lot of text. It was more of like a short story, rather those which contained new specific additional information. So the story was about a miner who tried to get on the other side, on the rich side of Walshina. He found a place where he could mine, And then when he started digging, and he dug a quite deep hole, and he realized that the wall never stopped. And he was digging until he came to the bedrock, basically rock, so he realized that it's not worth it. And then when he was in a tavern, pub, he was talking to his friend, and basically told him what happened, and was telling him that it seems like there's a wall, that the wall is also in the ground. And they then decided, he and his friend decided to stop talking, because there could be a person, listening to them and then reporting to the military police brigade. So yeah, the miner decided that he will stop and go to work the other day, but he did not show up to work. He basically disappeared. His friend went to his home multiple times, but he was not there, and also the miner did not have any family. So his friend decided to report that to the garrison. The garrison and the police started a investigation. They were trying to search for him, but they did not find him, and also his friend disappeared one day or shortly after that, and then also his friend disappeared. So yeah, I really love this. It was something different than what we had before with these information cards. It was something great to read, and it was interesting. It's so simple, but yet mysterious. I just hope that one day we'll learn what happened. I really hope. I don't like mysteries which are never solved. I know this is probably not a main part of the story, but I hope that maybe with these info cards that we one day learn what happened to this miner. And what does this story tell us? Definitely there's one thing that we can say for sure, that there is something much more to the wall than just being a wall. It seems that it has some magical properties. It has some, there is something magical about those walls, something abnormal. I don't know what it is, but but everything in this episode, like the title was Wall or The Wall, then the post-credits scene was a creature inside a wall, now this. I mean, they're hinting that these walls are not just regular walls, and they probably are not, considering their size and everything else. So, but there's nothing, but everything else is still mysterious, because we don't know what made him disappear. Was maybe a creature like that which was in the wall at fault for his disappearance? I don't know. Was it maybe, maybe a religious fanatic could have kidnapped him because he tried to go under the wall? Maybe the police itself kidnapped him because the police didn't want him to figure out something about the wall. There are endless possibilities as to why he basically disappeared. But if there's something that we can now say for sure, is that those are not ordinary walls. Which of course was already confirmed when we have seen that creature inside it. But this just is another hint that that there's a lot more to the walls than at least I initially thought. And now to grade this episode. It definitely was one of my favorites, especially, if I make a comparison between the first and the last one, here you see the big difference, which I think I talked in my discussion in the first episode. There's a huge difference once you already are connected to the main or every character, I suppose. Everything feels so much heavier, so much more emotional. Like imagine if we would have known Carla already before the first episode, I'm not saying that, the first episode was amazing. It's still one of the best episodes of the show. And of course it was the first episode, so it had the hardest task to do. But I'm just saying that once you're connected to a character, everything feels much more emotional. You cannot deny that, right? And that's why here, everything felt so satisfying, so great, each new information, character development, everything felt amazing. I think it was a fitting ending I think it met my expectations. I expected someone to die, but you know, as a fan, I'm glad that no one died. I really expected someone like Jean to die, but he didn't. So, you know, and I don't think that you have to kill someone off to make a good story. Attack on Titan has already killed many characters, so we are afraid for them. It's not like they have to kill everyone in each episode, you know. I think you need to have a good balance between that, you know. You need to keep your viewers on their heels. They need to be afraid for the characters, you know, but also you still need to keep some characters alive. You can't constantly kill everyone and then just reintroduce new ones, you know. You need to have some characters which are featured in the show for a larger period of time, you know, so that the whole story feels like a complete story, you know. If they were to kill everyone in this season and then in the next season restart, then it would basically feel like it's a new show, you know. So I think this was, in my opinion, one of the better ones. Only, you know, there were some confusing parts when they were melting, when, you know, when he was burning, but then if you really think about it, they were not so. Those were effects of their powers, and I understood most of what was happening, so I still think, and the pacing I think was excellent. I loved the tempo. The action sequences were great. You know, I always felt pumped up. I was always on my heels watching and hoping that Eren will win. As I said, it was adrenaline-like the whole episode. Everything was awesome. And I think this episode deserves a 9.2 out of 10. But that's basically it. That's basically it for this season. I really enjoyed it. As I said, I'm really basically mostly new to watching an anime as a whole, especially in Japanese. I mostly was familiar with Yu-Gi-Oh!, Naruto, and One Piece, but I watched a few episodes in the dubbed version, in the German dubbed version, as a child. And like the only time where I watched, as you probably already know, an anime from start to finish was JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, which I finished towards the end of last year. I don't know exactly when, but it was sometime before I started this channel. So I don't have a lot of experience with anime that I could compare this season with any other anime and say, oh, this is better than that or worse than that. But if I compare this to other shows, TV shows, movies which I watched, this is one of the best stories I have seen. I know that most of people say that basically the second and third season are even better than this. So that's why when I first read those comments, I didn't expect that I will enjoy this season this much, but I did, and it was amazing. As I said, it's one of the best shows I have watched, so I'm really, truly excited to see the upcoming 2 seasons, and those bonus episodes, of course. So now to make a quick season overview, I think we can divide this season on its arcs. So it was the first, I guess, opening arc when Eren and Mikasa were children. Then we had their training arc. Then was the trust arc. Then I think was the female Titan arc. And we finished with this, I think it's called Stochnes, the district, basically the end arc, you know. And I think I enjoyed this last arc the most, just because of all the reveals, of the adrenaline-like state that I was in all the time. It was so intense, everything, and you know, although I always enjoy every journey, I think the ending is probably the best one, you know, because everything comes to a conclusion, everything comes full circle. And you then really appreciate the whole journey, even though you're sad that it's over. I think the ending is usually the best part, because it brings everything together. You know, if you mess up the ending, then it basically, you know, at least that's my opinion. I think the ending parts of a story are the most important ones, because if you mess that up, then everything that you watched before becomes worse for you. You know, you start to think that this was for nothing. I'd much rather have a show which starts badly and ends amazing. You know, because then when you're watching, you're at least thinking, okay, I will get through this. I will watch these first few of episodes and then it goes off, you know. But if you have a show which starts great, amazing, and then you get basically spoiled a bit, and then you expect greatness, and then it finishes horrible, then you're just extremely disappointed. And they did a good job with the ending, and maybe that's why it's my favorite part of this season. I think every part was extremely good. If I think about the first arc, those 2 episodes, it was, I think, although, you know, I watched only now the first season, I still get that vintage Attack on Titan feel if I think about those episodes, you know, back in December, you know, when all of our characters seemed so powerless. You know, we always thought about what could Eren potentially do? How will he fight against the Titans? Even Hannes wasn't able to fight. How will a child like Eren fight, you know? I think I like all of them. Maybe I could say that the Trust story arc had a bit of pacing issues. I'm not saying that it was bad. I fully enjoyed it. I loved everything. But I'm just saying that if I compare it to every other arc that happened, I think it was, you know, how many episodes were they? You know, and I thought that this arc will be resolved in like 4 episodes, and I think it was at the end 9. So, but you know, it was still a really enjoyable arc. But yeah, I think the last one is definitely my favorite one. So I'll now tell my top 5 favorite characters. It won't be my top, and it won't be in any particular order, just my top favorites. And this is not the top best, it's my top favorite. Like, you know, I don't want to upset anyone, and I think it's funnier to tell just my favorite characters. You know, because you can have a character which is just badass, but then is basically just one-dimensional. That character can still be your favorite, but looking from a story perspective, that character is not one of the best ones, you know. But I could at least tell you which character I feel is the best one before I tell you my favorites. And if I had to choose the best character, it would probably be Jean. You know, he is basically a character which uses the most efficient formula to make a good character. People love characters with flaws, and Jean has plenty of them, you know, but he has many also good attributes about him, and people, you know, and he was featured a lot, he got a lot of screen time, his character developed a lot, and people always love is if a character sort of fixes his flaws. Mostly people love redemption arcs. I'm not saying that John was having a redemption, that he was evil and came back, but he definitely had a lot of flaws compared to someone like Armin, which he fixed, you know, through this story. So I think he is the best one in this season, definitely. But that's just my opinion. But now I'll tell you my top 5 favorite characters in no particular order. The first one will be Eren. One thing is definitely the fact that he was with us from the beginning. He is basically, if I think about Attack on Titan, you know, he's definitely one of the first characters that I think about. He is probably the poster boy for this show, you know, the main character, I suppose. His mother died at the beginning. He's the one who has these Titan powers. He's the one who now he did not defeat Annie, but it was mostly his. He did most of the work, I suppose. So yeah, he definitely is the main character, probably. So, you know, that's one thing. And the another thing is that in a lot of ways he reminds me of myself. As I said once, I think at the time where he died, that that I can easily connect to him, because, you know, my main guidance in life was do something that's morally right. I'm always trying to do that, you know. And you know, and if and to achieve something like that, you usually have to be brave, and just like Annie said, be someone who can go against the flow in society. I wouldn't say that I'm walking around and protesting all the time or something like that, but if I see something wrong, no matter who that person is, I'll try to fight against it, you know. That's basically who I am, you know. Sometimes this can have bad consequences, I'm not gonna lie, but, you know, but that, you know, it doesn't matter who it is. If it's your friend, family member, teacher, anyone, you know, if something's happening which I do not feel is right, I will definitely express my opinion about it. I see a lot of stuff which he does, which remind me of myself, and that's one of the reasons why he will probably, if he keeps being Eren, stay one of my favorite characters until the end. Then one of my favorite characters is also definitely Mikasa. You know, what I really love about her is that she feels so warm but looks so cold. I don't know how to explain this properly, but, you know, she cares so much about Eren. She just has a nice feeling about her, you know. She, like, comparing her and Annie always felt much more colder, you know, maybe a bit more selfish than someone like Mikasa. And Mikasa, for her, you know, being so good at fighting, being so badass, being so, you know, calm, collected, cool, but she still at the same time cares for others and has that warm aura about her. I don't know, she feels a bit warm. That's the only way I can explain this. She's also one of the characters which were with us from the beginning. Her being a badass fighter also helps with that I really love her. Definitely one of my favorites. Then the next one is Jean. Of course, I said Jean. I feel that he's the best one, and that's also one of the reasons. And I also really like him. He's one of my favorites. As I said, mainly because of the same reasons which I said when I said that he's the best character. I just enjoyed his story so much, his character development. I loved it. He has so much potential, and I'm looking so much to seeing more of him. Definitely one of my favorites. Then one of my favorites is also Armin. I know that now this seems like maybe you could say too obvious. I'm picking those characters which were featured a lot. But you know, at the same time, I cannot put someone like Berthold in my favorite character list, because I don't even know if Berthold spoke since the fourth episode, or third, I think third. You know, you have to be featured at least sometime so that I can, you know, get to know you, and then I can give my opinion. And I was really invested at first in Berthold, because it seemed like he has a great backstory. He was in the mountains, opened the window, and there was a titan, and how did he survive? Everything I want to know, but then he somewhat was put into the background, which is really strange, because he and also others like Kirsta were always in the endings, openings, but they were not featured a lot. So Armin was a character which at first was normal to me. I liked him because he was with us from the beginning, but I think I said at one point that I would like to see more of him. And we did. We've seen a lot of him. He now had one of the best character developments. And he's also a badass, but more in a, like Mikasa, but more in like a intellectual way. You know, his intelligence is amazing. He has so many great plans, and you're always looking to, I hope Armin will make a good plan. You can always count on him. You know, because, you know, you still remember how when he was small, they were beating him up, and now he's here, one of the most important soldiers, at least in my opinion. you just feel so proud of him, and definitely one of my favorites. And now for the last favorite character, there are many great which I also liked, like Kiriko. I really liked her. I liked Hannes. I don't know why, but I really liked him in a way. I thought he would be featured more. I also really liked Reiner. I would really love to see more of him, as I want to see more from Connie, Sasha. But I think for the last spot it's probably between Levi and Erwin. Maybe Reiner is close to them. And I'm not mentioning Erwin because I was accused of being an Erwin hater. I'm not doing that because of that. It's because he grew on me these past few episodes. Seeing him, when everyone was accusing him when their mission failed, I somewhat now understand him more. And as I said in episode 21, I misunderstood something. So, as I said, I really love the fact that we have a character which is in a position of power and has usually the same ideas as we, Eren, our main characters, like most of them, like Niall, these district chiefs, the police brigade, most of them are against the ideas of the likes of Eren, but not Erwin, I'm not saying that Erwin and Eren have the same ideas. They definitely not, Eren does not want to sacrifice anything. Erwin is capable of sacrificing people, but his ideas are still the same. They both have the same ideas. They want to save the humanity, and they want to act. That's what they want. And it's great to have someone like Erwin on that position. He definitely is now one of my favorite characters. But I still think that in my top 5, I have to definitely give Levi. Although I love everyone else, which I mentioned now as mostly honorable mentions, I think Levi is in my top 5 favorite characters. And it's because, one thing, he's of course badass and good. That's one thing. Second thing, he is one of the funniest characters. His lines are usually hilarious. And the third thing is, he was featured for just the second half of the season, but he got quite a lot of character development. He did. Especially, when his squad died and when he gave that patch to Ivan. And then when you, in the comment section, explained to me that basically that patch was one of his own comrades' patches. That moment really made me fall in love with Levi. And he is definitely also one of the best, I would say. And he definitely is now one of my favorites. Definitely. So yeah, that was for the characters. If I would say that I have any favorite moments, I don't know, there are plenty. I would have to think a lot about it. I don't want to miss anything out. I guess when Eren was seen that he was alive, when we have seen him come out of that Titan, was one of the best moments. On his reveal was one of the best moments, at least for me personally, because I was so satisfied that my theory was correct. And then maybe, Armin's speech was great. Every Mikasa badass moment, every Levi badass moment. Jean's decision to join the Survey Corps was one of, if not the best, I don't know if it's the best, but definitely like one of the top moments was Jean's decision to join the Survey Corps. It was a great moment. Also, I guess you could say Carla's death. It sounds, okay, I wouldn't say it's my favorite moment, but if you look from a storyline perspective, it's definitely one of the best moments, because it basically kickstarted everything. It just showed you what this show is about. And yeah, that's it for this season. I really enjoyed it. Can't wait to see the next one. And now I'll quickly make some predictions for the upcoming season, for season 2. The most obvious thing is that we'll probably explore and learn more about these wall creatures. I don't know how many of them are. I think we will learn the main antagonist. I think it's probably, I don't think they will preserve him for the end, him, whoever it is, or what it is. I think we will learn at one point in the second season who that person is, who's behind everything. Maybe there are multiple persons, but I think it's probably Annie's father, and we will maybe learn where he is, what he's doing, see him. Maybe Eren will train and start to master this beast burning titan form. They'll probably try to recapture Wall Maria. Now that the female titan is gone, they'll probably try to do that. Maybe now the armored titan will appear and they'll try to, or the colossal, and then they'll try to kill the colossal or armored titan. Maybe we'll get to the basement. I would hope so. I'm really curious as to what it is in that basement. I thought about it a bit, and that basement has to be magical, right? Because why in the world would Eren need a key to get into a basement? Couldn't they just destroy that door? And he really, and his father gave him that key, and his father is definitely not stupid. So I think that basement, there is something magical about it. And speaking of this basement and Eren's father, I'm super curious, where the hell is Eren's father? I don't know if I talked about this. I think the story just progressed and I just somewhat forgot about him. At the beginning I wasn't asking myself because I thought, well, Eren, Mikasa, they're young. How can they go and find him in this world? But now, they have their they know someone like Eren. I'm curious, why doesn't Eren ask Erwin if maybe Erwin can use his connections in the army and try to find his father? Because his father is significantly important, His father knows a lot. His father injected that into Eren, so I don't know why they're not searching for him, unless he's dead, but Eren never said anything. And Eren is definitely aware that his father is alive, if I'm not wrong. He remembers what happened. He remembers that it's his father who gave him that. I'm pretty sure he does, Because if he doesn't, why doesn't he ask himself, where did I get this key? He probably has to know. So that's one thing, the mystery about his father. I guess, so yeah, I'm hoping to learn more about Annie's father, Eren's father, the whole mystery behind Titans. I'm interested into what direction will this show now go. Will we now, will now the second season be dedicated maybe to the armored titan, and they will just try to kill him, or will it, or will it go back to the more classic titans, Because in those last few episodes, I kind of forgot about those regular titans and what the feel was. Although Annie as the female titan is definitely much more dangerous than a regular titan. But those are still creepier. Those regular titans, because they're smiling and they're having so much fun with that, and they're eating humans all the time, and you have some abnormals, those titans are much more creepier and really give you that feel of being caged like a bird. Although maybe they won't be featured anymore because they're not so strong anymore for someone like Eren. But anyways, whatever it is, I'm sure I will enjoy it. If it's true what you're saying, that it's even better than this season, then I guess I'll enjoy the heck out of it. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing. Now I'll of course watch first the OVA episode. Anyways, have a great day. See you soon.